On a Tuesday evening, the state of Florida carried out the execution of Thomas Lee Gudinas. He was 51 years old at the time of his death. This execution marked a grim milestone in the state's capital punishment history. Gudinas was put to death for the heinous crimes committed in 1994. These offenses involved the rape and murder of Michelle McGrath. The legal process leading to this final act spanned nearly 3 decades. The method of execution was lethal injection. This procedure is the standard protocol in Florida for capital punishment. It involves the administration of a series of drugs designed to cause death. The execution took place at Florida State Prison. This facility is located near Stark, a city known for housing the state's primary execution chamber. It is a site of profound finality for those on death row. Thomas Lee Gudinas was pronounced dead at 6:13 p.m. This official time marked the conclusion of his life. The moment was confirmed by state authorities present at the scene. Brian Griffin, a spokesperson for Governor Ron DeSantis, confirmed the execution. His statement underscored the state's commitment to carrying out judicial sentences. The governor's office plays a critical role in the final stages of capital cases. Please like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Thomas Lee Gudinas was convicted of the May 1994 killing of Michelle McGrath. The brutal nature of the crime shocked the community. It left an indelible mark on the victim's family and friends. Michelle McGrath was last seen leaving Barbarella's Bar. This establishment was located in Central Florida. Her disappearance immediately raised concerns among her loved ones. Tragically, her body was discovered in a nearby alley shortly after her disappearance. The discovery initiated a thorough police investigation. Authorities quickly began to piece together the events of that night. The body showed clear evidence of sexual assault and severe trauma. These findings were crucial in the subsequent criminal proceedings. They painted a grim picture of the violence inflicted upon the victim. Witnesses placed Gudinas at Barbarella's Bar on the night of the crime. Their testimonies were vital to the prosecution's case. They helped establish his presence at the scene. One witness specifically identified Gudinas fleeing the scene. This direct observation provided a critical link. It connected him directly to the immediate aftermath of the crime. Another woman testified that Gudinas had threatened her the previous night. This testimony suggested a pattern of aggressive behavior. It further solidified the prosecution's argument regarding his dangerousness. Based on the overwhelming evidence, Gudinas was convicted in 1995. He was subsequently sentenced to death for his crimes. The jury's decision reflected the gravity of the offenses. At 6:00 p.m., Thomas Lee Gudinas was strapped to a gurney. An IV was inserted into his arm, preparing him for the lethal injection. This procedure is a standard part of the execution protocol. He made a final statement before the drugs were administered. Reports indicated he expressed repentance and referenced Jesus. Such statements are often a last opportunity for condemned individuals to speak. However, his words were reportedly inaudible to those in the viewing room. This often occurs due to the soundproofing of the chamber. It leaves observers to speculate on the exact nature of his final thoughts. Once the drugs were administered, Gudinas exhibited physical reactions. These are common responses to the chemicals used in lethal injection. His body then became still, indicating the onset of death. On the day of his execution, Gudinas had one visitor. This was his mother, who came to see him for the last time. Such visits are often deeply emotional and private moments. Notably, he did not meet with a spiritual advisor. This choice is unusual for individuals facing execution. Many condemned prisoners seek spiritual comfort in their final hours. Gudinas' attorneys had filed numerous appeals on his behalf. A primary basis for these appeals was claims of lifelong mental illnesses. They argued these conditions should preclude his execution. The Florida Supreme Court ultimately denied these appeals. The court stated that mental illness is not equivalent to intellectual disability for exemption from execution. This distinction is a critical legal point in capital cases. A federal appeal also challenged the governor's discretion in signing death warrants. This appeal sought to question the executive branch's power in capital punishment. It aimed to introduce a new legal avenue for reprieve. However, the U.S. Supreme Court rejected this federal appeal. They also denied a last-minute reprieve for Gudinas. This decision exhausted all remaining legal avenues for him. Thomas Lee Gudinas' execution marked the 7th in Florida this year. This number highlights a significant acceleration in the state's use of capital punishment. It reflects a renewed pace of executions. Florida currently leads the nation in executions for the current year. This position underscores the state's active role in carrying out death sentences. It sets Florida apart from many other states. An 8th execution is already scheduled for next month in Florida. This indicates a continued commitment to capital punishment by the state. The trend suggests a sustained period of executions. In the previous year, 2023, Florida executed 6 people. This figure was already a notable increase from prior years. The current year's pace surpasses even that recent activity. A total of 24 executions have been carried out in the U.S. this year. This national total includes executions from various states. It provides a broader perspective on capital punishment trends across the country. The year 2025 is projected to be the year with the most U.S. executions since 2015. This forecast suggests a potential resurgence in capital punishment nationwide. It marks a significant shift in the landscape of death penalty enforcement. Texas and South Carolina are currently tied for second place in executions this year. These states have historically been active in capital punishment. Their current numbers reflect their ongoing use of the death penalty. Despite the increased pace, the Department of Corrections reported no significant operational strain. This indicates that the state's execution protocols are robust. The system appears capable of handling the heightened activity. The rising number of executions in Florida and across the nation raises important questions. It prompts discussions about the efficacy, ethics, and legal complexities of capital punishment. The somber reality of these events continues to shape public and legal discourse.